Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my mock draft 1.0. So this is what I think is going to happen in the upcoming draft. This is my first video on my new sports channel, so I hope you enjoy. Also, I do want to say the divisional rounds have just finished, so that's what this mock is after. So all of the divisional rounds are over. So this is what I have each team doing after the divisional rounds. Of course, we'll update it after each round and throughout the off season, after like free agency and etc. But here's what I have the NFL doing. Let's jump into it. With the first pick, I have the Bengals selecting quarterback Joe Burrow. Not that big of a surprise here. The Bengals need a franchise quarterback because Andy Dalton is not it anymore. They finished dead last, and they should probably take Chase Young, but I do think the smart option would be to take Joe Burrow because they need a quarterback. And it's pretty much already essentially been confirmed that the Bengals will take Joe Burrow. With the second pick, I have the Washington Redskins selecting Chase Young, the edge rusher from Ohio State. Now, yes, the Redskins do have some more glaring needs on their team, but why not take the best player in the draft to get after quarterbacks, get after Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, and Carson Wentz, and you already have your future quarterback in Dwayne Haskins. Didn't look too great last season, but he'll probably improve. So why not help out your defense and get Chase Young? With the third pick, I have the Lions selecting Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback from Ohio State, by far the best corner in the draft. I don't even think it's close. The Lions need to bulk up that defense, and I think they should do that in the secondary. Darius Slay might run out of his contract, so you might need to get a replacement for him. And Jeffrey Okudah is definitely the best corner to do so. With the fourth pick, I have the New York Giants selecting Andrew Thomas, the tackle out of Georgia. You have Saquon Barkley, and you have your new franchise quarterback, Daniel Jones. So why not help block for Saquon and protect Daniel Jones, because both of those guys are going to be your franchise players. So you're going to need to protect them and get your future tackle right here in Andrew Thomas. With the fifth pick, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Tua Tagovailoa. He did declare for the draft today, so he will be coming out for the draft. And the Dolphins need their franchise quarterback because Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't it. They didn't like Josh Rosen, evidently. So get your future franchise quarterback in Tua. And that's all I really have to say. With the sixth pick, I have the Chargers selecting Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon. This kind of hurts me as a Broncos fan. I mean, obviously we got Drew Lock, which is who I wanted us to select last year, but still, I liked Justin Herbert as a quarterback, and now I really can't root for him anymore because he's gonna probably go to my divisional rival as a Broncos fan. But yes, the Chargers do need a quarterback, and I think Justin Herbert is the best one available. Joe Burrow, Tua, and Justin are definitely the top three quarterbacks this year. And I think the Chargers go for Justin and maybe develop him behind Phillip. Maybe Phillip leaves. With the seventh pick, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Derek Brown, defensive lineman out of Auburn. They just need help on their defensive line. Derek Brown fits perfectly for them. It's like their biggest need, and why not help put pressure on the quarterback when you're in a division with Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, and Jameis Winston. Put some pressure on the quarterbacks. With the eighth pick, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle out of Iowa. Well, I know a lot of people have him going receiver there for the air raid offense, giving Kyler Murray another weapon. I like the receivers they have now in Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk's a really valuable receiver, and I feel like you need to protect Kyler Murray. He can't be running for his life. He just can't be running for his life. So I have them going Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa, who is the second best tackle. I think he's pretty close to Andrew Thomas. I think those two guys are the best tackles in this draft. With the 9th pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Isaiah Simmons, linebacker out of Clemson. I feel like you guys do need some help on the defense. I mean, obviously, your defense is great, Saxonville, but who knows how long Miles Jack is going to still be there. So I'd say get Isaiah Simmons, and probably one of the best players in the draft. So yeah, pick up Isaiah Simmons for your defense. With the 10th pick, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle out of Alabama. They need to protect Baker Mayfield, block for Nick Chubb, same thing as the Giants. So I do think Jedrick Wills will be the best option for the Browns. I think they should address their offensive line because it wasn't too great last season, and we saw that with their record. So yeah, with the 11th pick, I have the Jets selecting A.J. Epinesa, edge rusher from Iowa. Now, you guys need to rush the passer. You guys got Quentin Williams last year. You guys got C.J. Mosley. You got a decent secondary with Jamal Adams. I think you got to go A.J. Epinesa to rush the passer, especially with a division where you guys got Josh Allen. Who knows who the Patriots quarterback will be next year? And then Tua. You guys are going to need an edge rusher to get to them. A.J. Epinesa is the perfect guy left. He's the best edge rusher besides Chase Young. So, yeah. With the 12th pick, I have the Oakland Raiders selecting Jerry Jeudy and, I guess, the Las Vegas Raiders. But they need a target for Derek Carr. Jerry Jeudy is the best route runner in this draft class. And they need a reliable target for Derek Carr to throw to. Hunter Renfrow, I mean, he was all right against my Broncos in the final game. He dropped a lot of passes. So I think you guys need to go Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver from Alabama. With the 13th pick, I have the Indianapolis Colts selecting CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma. And here's my thinking behind this. I think Tom Brady leaves the Patriots, and I think he signs with the Indianapolis Colts. And then when he's on the Colts, he's already got T.Y. Hilton and Eric Ebron. Why not give him another weapon in CeeDee Lamb? And that offense would be scary. They do have Marlon Mack at running back. So man, that offense would be crazy good if they added CeeDee Lamb to the mix. This next pick, I'm gonna get a lot of controversy for, and I might be called an idiot, but this is just what I think. With the 14th pick, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Jacob Eason, quarterback out of Washington. Jameis Winston had his 30 for 30 year. He's been really inconsistent over his career. So I think you go Jacob Eason. You put some pressure on Jameis. If he doesn't perform well, you put Jacob Eason in. Jacob does need some work before I feel like he can become a good starter. So he sits behind Jameis, and then eventually if Jameis just doesn't work out, then I think Jacob Eason will go and start for the Buccaneers because they can't wait for Jameis Winston. So they got to put pressure on him. And, if Jameis Winston doesn't work out, then you put in Jacob Eason. I think you sign Winston to a short-term deal to see how he does with Jacob Eason behind him. And then if he performs well, then you sign him to a long-term contract, and then you trade away Jacob Eason. With the 15th pick, this is my Broncos pick, and this is what I hope we do. I have us selecting Henry Ruggs, the third wide receiver out of Alabama. We got Drew Lock. He's looking great. Drew Lock is who I wanted us to take with the 10th pick last year. I'm glad we got him at the 42nd so we could get Dalton Risner and Fant. But if you look at our offense, we got a good combo of Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman in the backfield. We got Cortland Sutton as our number one receiver. And we don't really have a solid number two wide receiver. I do like Deshaun Hamilton and Tim Patrick, but I don't really think they should be our number two receivers. I do think Henry Ruggs could be our number two receiver. He's the fastest wide receiver in the draft. As a Broncos fan, we go up against Tyreek Hill twice a year, and we know how deadly Tyreek Hill is. So, if we go Henry Ruggs, then we would have our own speedster on the offense, and I think that would make our offense way more scary than it already is. With this, I could see if we don't go. You know what? I'll just save it. I do have options that the Broncos could go if they don't go Henry Ruggs. However, I really, 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 really do think that we will go Henry Ruggs come April. I have a good feeling about it. So yeah, and I also hope that, obviously, I hope it happens, but I have a good feeling about it. With the 16th pick, I have the Atlanta Falcons selecting Kristen Fulton, cornerback out of LSU. The Falcons need a lot of help on defense. I think you start with a secondary with a cornerback because you need a lockdown cornerback. I feel like that's one of the most important positions on the defense other than pass rusher and safety. I mean, you could go safety here. I just see you going cornerback. I just see it as a bigger need, but I could also see them going safety here. I just have them going Kristen Fulton out of LSU. Speaking of LSU, with the 17th pick, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Grant Delpit, safety out of LSU. They do need some safety help, and I think Grant Delpit is the best safety in this year's draft class. So yeah, I have Grant Delpit coming to Dallas and helping their defense out. With the 18th pick, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Austin Jackson, offensive tackle, USC. This could be a reach, but with those top three linemen already gone, and Andrew Thomas, Tristan Wirfs, and Jedrick Wills, I think they need help. You got Tua. He's gonna be sitting out a year because of his injury, so you're gonna want to protect him when he comes back from his injury to make sure he doesn't re-aggravate it. So you get Austin Jackson, the tackle out of USC. You need help. You traded away Laramie Tunsil to the Texans. So I think you got to go with a tackle here with one of your first-round picks. I have you going with your second out of 3 first-round picks. And you got to protect Tua and set up your line for the future. With the 19th pick, I have the Raiders selecting Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. They do need a cornerback pretty badly. It's not one of their glaring needs. They already addressed their biggest need of wide receiver by selecting Jerry Jeudy. They could go linebacker, but yet with what's his face gone, with Isaiah Simmons gone, I don't really think you should take another linebacker this high. So I have you going secondary and selecting Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. With the 20th pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting T. Higgins out of Clemson. You get Isaiah Simmons' teammate on the offensive side. And, they do need a wide receiver to help out Gardner Minshew. And then I think T. Higgins is probably the best wide receiver remaining. I could see the Jaguars not going receiver, though. I don't think it's like a super massive need. A lot of people do think it is a massive need. I don't think it's too big of a need, but we'll see. With the 21st pick, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. They need help with their secondary, especially corner. C.J. Henderson is the best cornerback left on the board. And so, yeah, I have them going and helping out their secondary there. With the 22nd pick, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Clavon Chaisson, edge rusher out of LSU. Bills need help with edge. And I think that Clavon Chaisson will be a good spot for him to go to. So, yeah. With the 23rd pick, I have the Patriots going Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. With Tom Brady departing, they're going to need their new franchise quarterback. I know they have Jared Stidham, but I do think they need a quarterback from the first round that they feel comfortable with. Jordan Love is probably the best quarterback remaining, and him and Jared Stidham could battle it out to see who becomes the starter next season. But yeah, I think you take your new franchise quarterback here, New England. With the 24th pick, I have the New Orleans Saints selecting Jalen Hurts, the quarterback out of Oklahoma. Now, you don't know if Teddy Bridgewater is going to be departing from the team. And Drew Brees said he wasn't going to retire, so I think he draft Jalen Hurts here as your future quarterback. You have him sit for a couple years behind Drew Brees until he retires, and then once Drew Brees retires, Jalen Hurts has already sat behind Drew Brees, learned from him, and he's ready to go in, and he's ready to be your new franchise quarterback after, taking like the Aaron Rodgers approach, Patrick Mahomes approach by sitting behind a great quarterback and learning from them. With the 25th pick, I have the Tennessee Titans. By the way, this is also the speculated picks from the 25th pick and beyond. I have the Tennessee Titans selecting Yetur Gross-Matos, edge rusher out of Penn State. They would like some help off the edge, and I think Matos is the best pass rusher left on the board, and they really need to pressure the quarterbacks. They got Deshaun Watson, who's a really mobile quarterback. They got Gardner Minshew in there, who you want to put some pressure on, and then they've also got what's the other team in the South? The Colts, which would have Tom Brady, which you would want to put some pressure on if that's what happens. If Tom Brady goes to there, which is who I think they'll have. With the 26th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Javon Kinlaw, defensive lineman, South Carolina. They do need some help with interior pass rush, so I think you select Kinlaw, the best defensive lineman in the draft. So yeah. With the 27th pick, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting DeAndre Swift, running back, Georgia. You got your franchise quarterback in Tua. You got your franchise left tackle in Austin Jackson. And now you get your franchise running back in DeAndre Swift. You traded away Kenyon Drake to the Cardinals. So you need your new running back here because I can't remember your backup's name. I know who he is. I don't think he's a solid number one back. Kalen Ballage is not a solid number one back, so I think you go DeAndre Swift, the running back from Georgia. With the 28th pick, the Seattle Seahawks select Laviska Shenault out of Colorado. And being from Colorado, this puts a smile on my face, having someone who went to a Colorado school go in the first round. And I just want to say, I do not go to the University of Colorado or CSU. I decide to go out of state, and I go to Oklahoma State University, so OSU, the Cowboys. But yeah, Laviska Shenault, I think that's a perfect weapon for Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. You have Laviska Shenault going in the first round, and those are some deadly weapons on the outside. Plus, you got beast mode back at running back, so That's a pretty good combo for Seattle's offense, and that'd be a scary, dangerous offense right there. With the 29th pick, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Jonathan Taylor, running back, Wisconsin. And man, as a Broncos fan, I hate this because they get their future running back in Jonathan Taylor. They got Tyreek Hill, they got Travis Kelce, they got Mahomes, they got Sammy Watkins. Their offense is just amazing. And I hate to see this, but I do think they go with their future running back with Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. Him and DeAndre Swift, I thought, were the best running backs in the draft if Chuba Hubbard doesn't come out. I might have some bias, but I think Chuba Hubbard would be the best running back in the draft if he decides to come out. So, yeah, but I do have them going Jonathan Taylor. So, yeah. With the 30th pick, I have the Green Bay Packers selecting Kenneth Murray, linebacker out of Oklahoma. They need some help with some linebackers, and, Kenneth Murray, he's no Isaiah Simmons, but I do think he'll get the job done, and I think he can grow into a really good linebacker in the NFL. With the 31st pick, I have the San Francisco 49ers selecting Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama. They could use some help at the safety position, but, they're pretty weak on draft picks, so I could also see them trading this pick, which this is a no-trade mock draft, obviously. So if you do want to have me do a no-trade mock draft, let me know in the comment section below. I have them going Xavier McKinney, the safety out of Alabama. With the 32nd pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens selecting Curtis Weaver, edge rusher, Boise State. Their offense is already deadly, so I think you go edge rusher, Baltimore. I think you need to focus on your defense, and Curtis Weaver is a pretty darn good pass rusher. So yeah, thank you for watching my mock draft. Leave a like. Comment down below if you want to see a trade mock draft, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.